Yeah, the HAF 932 case. It's pretty big. So, it's Animosity here again, and this is my personal rig. The HAF 932 is the case you guys see. And one of the things I actually bought and still waiting on, Purelator, 2 days in a row now, mechanical delay. So apparently their trucks just like blow up every day. I don't know. Anyway, the case is supposed to be coming later today, which means I'll be scrambling to build this probably either later tonight or tomorrow. And I'm going to pretty much do a time lapse of the build, but I wanted to show what my actual build was first. So I'm going to be doing like an outside view, which is, I guess I'll just go over the pieces and whatnot, as well as like a little inside view. A lot of the equipment inside is coming over to my new case, with a couple exceptions, some added stuff. And one of the big reasons I'm changing is basically this is too big for me now. I had to keep it on the floor because of how large it is for the computer desk that I built. So I wanted something a little more compact. So I'm going to a medium-sized tower, as well as the space inside. Like, I've had this case now for 7 years, as long as I've had the power supply. 7 years, which is another part I'm replacing. And basically, it served me extremely well for 7 years. This thing looks like a tank. It's built like a tank. But I need to switch over to a different case because I want to do water cooling in the near future, hopefully near future. Price obviously depending, it's $500 plus Canadian to get into a custom water cooling loop. But I'm a bit of a enthusiast, and I want to have the aesthetics as well as the performance for thermals anyway, for CPU overclocking, and eventually probably into a GPU block, but not right off the bat. This guy has so many 5 1/4 inch bays up front. Like, there's like no room. And then right underneath here on the 5 1/4, down here is actually all hard drive bays. So without modding this case, I can't put in a tube res like I want to. So I figured it was time to change. Besides that, the case has held up extremely well. I did mod it up front, painted some of the stuff. But the amount of modding I'd have to do to put a side window in, as well as take out the bays, it just wasn't worth it for me, because I could pick up the new case for, I don't know, I think I paid like $120 or something for it. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to take the camera and I'm just going to basically run you through what is essentially my rig at the moment, and this will be your baseline, and then hopefully I'll show you some parts before I put them all in, laid out, and then eventually a time lapse and you'll see the finished product. Well, I say finished, but I mean, I'm hopefully getting a new GPU as well as water cooling in the near future. And then on top of that, I probably got some other small stuff. Like, I got LEDs ordered, but they're from China and they take forever to get here, so they probably won't be in the finished build immediately. So they'll be added in later, maybe in an update video. And what else? It's the fans. I got one Noctua fan that I did the review on, that the link will be here. Anyway, the Noctua fan, I'm going to use one of them for a week, and then I'm going to switch over, and if I like them, I'll order probably 4 more and put them all in the case. But I don't want to order like 5 fans in total and then really don't like them because they're not solid. But yeah, let's go over the inside. Okay, so I have the side panel off now, which just comes off with these thumb screws, 2 of them, and then slides out that way and off. So on the interior of the case, I have the Cooler Master Evo 212 air cooler with a fan that's just pushing air out the back. I'm not super happy with the cooler, to be honest. I picked it up for pretty cheap. It's allowed overclocking up into 4.3, 4.5 gigahertz range from 3.4 gigahertz on the CPU, which is an i5 3570K. But I want higher out of it, and I believe the chip can go higher, and I hate how loud the fan is. It's ridiculous. After about 3 months, the fan on it started vibrating like it was nobody's business. So I'm not super happy with that. There's a 140mm fan in the back. And then on the side panel, there is a big fan, as well as the glass top that you can see through with the HAF logo. And yeah, inside I have my 16 gigabytes of G.skillz RAM at 1600 megahertz, which will be being reused, as well as the cooler, unfortunately, until I get water cooling. The motherboard's a ZAD77 Extreme 4 from, I believe, ASRock. It's a nice board. I'll go over more so parts that I'm actually putting into the new case and everything when when I have everything laid out. But that is coming with me as well, and the processor I mentioned before. Same with the video card, so all the main components will be coming over. That's a GTX 760. It's the overclocked edition. That one's by Asus, I believe. The power supply is just an OCZ. I've had it for 7 years. I'm surprised it hasn't blown up. All the cables are out the back, through the back, but there's no grommets or anything on the exits and entrances from the back panel there that hold the motherboard on. So I wasn't really super pleased with a lot of the cable management stuff I had to do. There's the bays I was talking about. How many there are? I have one optical drive, and I can literally probably count on my one hand how many times I've used it. And then on the bottom there are your hard drive spots. They just open up, and then you can pull your hard drive out. I have one Hitachi hard drive and a SSD that's in there. The SSD is actually brand new. I installed it to get my operating system over, but both of those will be coming with me. Quite a large fan up front with a red LED when it plugs in. I'll do some glamour shots at the end so you can see what it actually looks like when it's running. It's a big fan, which tends to make it a little bit more quiet, but thanks to that, this thing is not quiet. And the case is so big, it's hollow, so it kind of echoes the sounds a little bit. This actually does have a set for water cooling up here for reservoir, or you can do reservoir in here. It's a large fan up top, no LEDs on this one. It does get extremely good airflow. And top of the case, just pure black. And this is pretty cool. It's a fill port. It's my Windows shit, but yeah, it's a fill port. Then you have a reset button as well as the power button, and you can lay stuff in here. I tend to lay my phone and stuff there. We'll go around to the side. Just drop the thumb screw. Front I/O, USBs, headphones. Like I said, I got the one LG thing, optical drive that I've probably never used. The red actually comes black, but I changed it out. I painted it. Now this front plate here, it does come off. See the dust there? There is this little thing here, doesn't do anything for dust. I clean it, but I mean, it's going away anyway. Over to the side. This side is just blank. Pure blank. Those are actual little vents. The back. And then the power supply is there. So like I said, the thumb screws, they just screw on. I'm going to show this side too, so people want to see what it's like for cable management. I'd be surprised if this doesn't like shoot off, because there's a fair amount of cables in here. It's not terrible for cable management, but it is a bit of a tight squeeze. Here's your hard drives and stuff. You can see what I was talking about for the water cooling though in the main spot. Like in the main chassis. It's damn near impossible, I think, to get a tube res in here. It would actually work anyway. Like you could put it here, I guess, but you're going to run into problems for running your cables through. Everything's just going to be behind your reservoir, and it's not going to look the best. And then this is, I'm using like maybe 10% of the space here. So the mod for this, for people who own this case, is to cut it here, and cut it down here, and literally just take it out. And then cut the side panel fan out, and make it just a full plexiglass window. But I don't see a point to that. Okay guys, so that's the old HAF build there. It looks like I'm gonna get my delivery tonight, so tomorrow I'm gonna take that part and put it all into the new case. That's gonna be a good few hours, I'd say. I'm not going to do an overview on like how to install motherboards and blah blah blah. I might in the future, because I have a lot of these parts that I'm still gonna swap out later. Like essentially I'm just giving it a facelift with a new case and some like a new SSD, stuff like that. I also have the new monitor coming as well and the new power supply. But basically I'm just swapping out some components that allow me access to better components later when I have the money. With a wedding coming up, obviously money is tight, and my priority is obviously the wedding before my computer, unfortunately. But, well, I guess not unfortunately, but you know, if I do find the money with like a hobble or something like that, I will be upgrading. So I might do segments when I buy the parts on like how to install them, or if someone specifically calls out and says like, oh, I want to know how to install this, I might do like a step-by-step guide and just take out the part I have in and put it back in. It looks like I'm going to try to do time lapses. I've never done a time lapse before, but it can't be super hard. So I think I'm going to try to set up and just do a time lapse of me tearing down my first build and then putting it all into the new case. And I'll do like a parts overview and stuff like that as well, just to run over the stuff. Anyway, if you liked the video, thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. Make sure to subscribe and leave a comment. Anything I can do better, obviously, or anything. Just how you're doing today. Anyway, till next time.